Looking at the dollar yen here on the daily time frame, you can see that prices peaked up here at 114.66 and it's moved all the way back down into this nice neat daily demand zone. So now the question is, where are we in the grand scheme of things? Are we still in the uptrend? Are we still in the downtrend? What exactly is going on here? And in my mind, what has been going on is this is a nice little pullback, okay? So I'm looking for price to bounce here off of this big daily demand zone at 111 down to about 109.54. And as it does so, I'm looking for price to pull back into daily supply at 112.49 up to about 113.33. So as it pulls into supply this coming week, and that's what I'm really looking to have happen, I'd like to see again how strong this daily demand zone is. Now this is probably a good, we'll say probably 3 to 4 weeks out as far as this price movement is what I'm looking at. As price is hitting this daily demand zone. Now, the other thing that we have to be aware of is once price does get back into this area would be a really nice shorting opportunity to push it into a new downtrend if it forms. But as of right now, in my mind, we have not seen a downtrend form yet, but I'm looking for price to bounce off of this zone and push up even higher this coming. Looking at the 60-minute time frame, this big green zone here represents the big daily demand zone. And you can see at the very top of this zone, we have these two aqua levels inside there. So I'm looking for price to continue to push down to about the 110.95 down to 110.82. Now that is the next demand zone down there, or excuse me, in this case it would be support zone because we're looking at a smaller time frame than the context of the daily time frame. So I'm looking for price to bounce down into that level or possibly the zone below that and then continue on in the upwards direction. Okay, so over the course of the next week it just needs to come down here just slightly, you know, basically we're looking at like a dollar move, we'll just say, okay? So, and then price will come right back up and be pushing into supply. So on that supply zone, let's go ahead and look and see exactly how big that daily supply zone is here. Now, you'll notice that in this daily supply zone, it is really big, okay? And there are zones on the bottom edge as well as the top edge. So I'm looking for price to come to the bottom edge first. The strongest part of the zone is definitely up here at the top, right around the 113.14 down to about 113 even. So that's the place where the strongest resistance is inside the zone is up there. But price could be holding. If it is a new downtrend, I would be expecting price to hold down here at the 112 instead of price coming all the way back up here, okay? And the reason being is if we're in a new downtrend, then resistance and supply should be holding a lot easier or more easy than support, okay? So I would expect the resistance to kick in early in the zone instead of really, really high in the zone. Looking at the Aussie yen here on the daily time frame, this market has been moving up steadily, really, really nice. However, on this one, we actually see a new downtrend forming here as prices just absolutely demolished a couple of these previous pivots over here, and we have a few more that it's just absolutely gone through. So as it's gone through those different levels, what I'm looking for price to do this coming week is actually push back up into this daily supply zone that we have right around, let's say, we'll say 86, okay? We're looking for price to pull into 86 and then continue to push down into about 84, okay? So basically it's an inversion of a checkmark trade. Uh, Again, this is just a little pullback in the grand scheme of a newly formed downtrend. All right, so that's what I'm looking to have happen this week. So let's go ahead and go down into the 60-minute time frames to really get a good peek as into what kind of support and resistance is at these key levels here. Looking at the 60-minute time frame, inside this big daily supply zone, we can see that there are two zones of confluence here, starting right around the 85, 83, up to about 86 even. So those are the two levels of confluence. So as I'm looking for price to do its thing, I would expect for price to come way up here and bounce off of one of these two levels here this coming week, and then continue on down into the downtrend and into demand down here right around 84. And inside the daily demand zone, from about 84 even down to about, we'll say 83.70, we can see that there are three different levels. And one zone particularly that's kind of interesting, and you can see how the 60-minute zone is just kind of overlapping it. It's not complete confluence here, but it's just kind of overlapping. So I think that zone's particularly interesting, and then the zone right there in the middle. So I'd like to see price come down into one of these two zones here for a nice bounce as price continues to move down into the downtrend.